This is the observations tool. This is actually where most people get excited. This was built in collaboration with the National Childhood Network and the Crann Support Group, and their experience and knowledge has been a main contribution in terms of the success of this tool. Click into observations. When you go in here, you'll see a different list of different children. So obviously when you want to add an observation, you click on add observation. When you go in here, you've got 4 different steps, okay? Step 1, 2, 3 and 4. On the tablet, obviously, when you do everything on the tablet, it's a lot easier. So again, when you click in here, it'll actually ask you, do you want to take a photo or do you want to take it from the gallery? For this purposes, we'll just go straight into our gallery and we'll pick here and upload it, okay? Now, the next part is the type of observation. So what type of observation is it? A physical, intellectual, a language, emotional, social, general, and a learning story. Just remember, these are all editable on the owner side. So you can change all these options because obviously I'm fully aware we're moving away from piles and this is why we've developed it this way. You can put in your own options. But for the time being, we'll use these. So we'll click on general observation. So the activity or the experience. So again, this is just a headline or a heading. So what is the child actually, what are they being observed doing? So let's say we said they were colouring. So again, simply click in colouring. The last 2 boxes here, which again you may or may not do, and just to highlight here, you do not need to fill in every single section in this observation, okay? None of it's mandatory. However, I can guarantee if you fill in all the areas, you'll get a really great insight and a really good observation at the end. So description. So what our colleagues over in the NCN and the Crann were saying is that sometimes it's difficult to take out some information from an observation, whereas you give little prompts, I suppose, to help the staff. And simply all you would do is describe what is happening. Click at the end here and you would either hit return and either type in or talk in. So you're saying something like, describe what's happening. She's colouring in the favourite colour or favourite, she's colouring her favourite pet. How does the child interact? She asks me what favourite pet is mine and what colour I like and so on. So again, you guys are the experts, you know. And then what does the child say? You can click on the speaker on the tablet and record, and it'll type up what the child is actually saying themselves. And then their interests, their skills, dispositions, and what decision the child makes, okay? So these are only here to help you. If you don't want to use them, get rid of them. They're only there as a prompt for you. What we do next is the same as how do we follow on. So again, you'll be probably very familiar with that. So again, type in or talk in. And it's only a matter of getting used to this. You need to do a few test ones and dummy ones to, I suppose, get over that barrier of actually talking into a tablet. Click on next step. So again, here, step 2 is the piles. So obviously we're aware Siolta and Aistear is going to be replacing piles, or is replacing it. However, there's a lot of facilities still using it. So you can still use it by clicking in here and obviously assign them whichever ones you want to use. Now if you're finished and you don't use piles anymore, there is an option in the owner settings that they can go in and disable piles, which means that that disappears, okay? And all you'll have then is your Aistear teams and your standards, your Siolta standards. So when you want to add a team, you simply select add team. And when you go in here, you've got well-being, identity and belonging, communicating and exploring and thinking, okay? So for this example, we're just going to click on communicating. And when we hit next step, it shows you the 4 aims for communicating. And when you click on an aim, it gives you the 6 goals for that aim. So you can select multiple aims and you can select multiple goals. And again, when we built this and we sent it out just to say it was going to be ready, we didn't tell anybody how to use it. We just said, can you give us your feedback and let us know what you think about it? And what owners and managers around the country are saying is that their staff are actually learning the Aistear and Siolta quicker through this and linking in. Because when you hit on next step, okay, you will only see the Siolta standards that link to that communicating team you've selected. So there's no standard 1 or standard 3 and so on. They're only the ones that link to that team. So if you're not currently using Siolta, you can obviously skip this, okay? Just hit finish over here. But if you are, it's an excellent way to get staff more familiar with the standards and the components. Because when you click on a standard, here's all your components. So again, for some that have to write all this out, it's done at a click of a button. And also then, which mainly for us as well, is the parents are starting to get more awareness of all these aims and goals and standards and components. And they'll start to realise that there's so much more involved in the child's day. Click on finish. It just gives you a little summary. So it's communicating, there's the aims, there's the goals, standards, components. If you'd like to edit this and you made a mistake, you can come in and edit it. If you'd like to delete it, you didn't want to use it, you can delete it. Or you can add in more teams and more standards. But for now, we're just going to move on to the next step, okay? So the next step is the child's strengths, the challenges, which is around the areas for development / resources, which means it's not to find something challenging the child. It's more about how can you find something to help with the child, okay? And again, the plan with the child and the guardian is exactly what the parents need to find out in order to be able to help at home. So you'll see this staff member is set up, okay, that they're not allowed sharing observation with a parent, okay? And the reason why this is that all managers and owners can set up all their staff that they have to review and approve the observation. So basically when this is finished, it goes into a queue for their line manager to approve it, okay? Because if you did, the manager can then, after maybe weeks or months, say, no, we're happy for you to send these out to parents. They can enable you that you're allowed to share your observations, and another button will pop up underneath here saying can share with the guardian, and again it'll pop up under each box. So each of these you will decide obviously which you want to share with the parent. But for the strengths, can't see why you wouldn't share them. The challenges, obviously if there was anything very serious or you want to discuss anything, you wouldn't put it in here, you'd speak to them verbally. And then most importantly, the plan with the child and the guardian. Like, you guys are the experts. The parents like myself, we need to know what we need to do at home to help. And again, simply by communicating here, you can tell us what we need to do, okay? So that's step 3. Strengths, challenges, areas for development, and then the plan with the child and the guardian. Step 4, the final step, is private comments about the child. So you're simply putting in some information in here, okay, which may be about the child. You may have spotted something that maybe you want your manager to look at that. Again, you can type this in here and your manager can add their comments as well. And you'll see then is that there's a draft status set up here, okay. So simply all that this can be saved as is a draft, okay. And when you save this as a draft, okay, it'll basically go into a queue for your manager to review and approve, okay. So when we click in here, have a guess where your observations are. They're in your observations index, okay. And when you click on observations index, all your observations will pop up. So that's just only the first one we created there. So that's the only reason why that pops up. So for example, let's say this child, Megan, did have an issue with her coordination maybe, and you wanted to do a follow-up observation. All you would do the following month, the beauty about child paths is you can link your observations together. So what it means is let's say you're doing an observation the following month and you wanted to do another observation. You go into your day sheet, you go down to your observations, and you go in and do another observation, okay. So we'll do Megan. And just for the purpose of this, I'm just going to skip through the observation just to show you what we're trying to do here. So when you come to the last observation, you'll see now that there's a related observation to this child, okay. So if there was an issue with the coordination, or if there was something that you wanted to follow up on, or if an inspector wanted to say, well, there was an issue, what did you do? You can link them together, okay. And simply all you do to link an observation together is you can view it first to make sure it's the right one, and then you can select this button, okay. And what this does is it links the two of them together. So you simply hit create here, and what that's going to do is it's going to link your two observations together. So how we know this is by clicking into Megan here, okay. And if we want to go in and see her observations, we click on observations here, and what it does is it brings up both of these observations. So if I wanted to go in and see the progress, I suppose, or what's happened, I suppose, in the different observations, you would simply click in here, and you would obviously have your observation all done out, okay, and it'd be detailed out. But what you're saying is here, the child did have an issue with their coordination. However, this is the progress. And you can click on the I button and you can see the other observation which was done beforehand, okay? And it'll go through, I suppose, how she's developing and progressing. So that's not just once you can do that. You can do it over and over, and again, it's showing you all the aims and goals and so on. And down at the bottom, when you go into a detailed observation, it'll show you what the plan is with the guardian and everything else. So it's really, really detailed. It can be as much as you put in, but also, I suppose, the main thing on this is that you're seeing the child's progress and the child's development. So that's it. I hope you're excited by that. You can give us a call if you want on 01 554 5621, or else you can email us at info@childpaths.ie, and we can set up. Generally what we look to do is we look to do a staff evening. If you've got more than 5 staff in your setting, we'll come down and do a staff evening free of charge to show them all the benefits of using child paths and show them how easy it is to use. And we do one-on-one training in the setting as well. We also give you parent packs, we do performance reviews, so we're very hands-on. All you need to do is look around at all the customers around the country who are using child paths and get their feedback on it. Thank you very much for taking the time to look at our demo today. Take care.